Today we are with Anna Goldman. Anna is a professional in the business consulting industry with a wide experience in sales and who is now also a content creator focusing on geographical location and
independence.
Geographical independence and financial freedom, right?
Correct.
Anna, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. It's such a new experience, but thank you, Juanma, for having me here and in Switzerland. So, hello, everyone. I'm Anna Goldman, and I have more than 10 years in sales and business development. Currently, I'm a business consultant who is helping companies to move from their current location to the countries they would like to develop their business. Secondly, I started my little YouTube channel 4 years ago, and this is my hobby and a part of my income and business and the love of my life.
Little, but it's not so little, right? Because you have more than 100K subscribers. So you're being really humble on that.
It's my baby. It's still my baby. And I finished 2 books this year, so I'm gradually becoming a writer. So.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. So, to put the audience on the map, to put you on the map for the audience, I want to understand a bit more about this sales experience and about this business of taking companies to open their market in a new country. It sounds super interesting. How did you get into the world, and what are the main areas inside this world?
Well, as I mentioned, I started working in sales, specifically in international sales, back in 2014. I was finishing my university in England, and I just realized that, okay, now it's time to support myself. My student fund is almost, my education is finished. Now I really need to put some food on the table. And as a typical immigrant, right, what can you do? You can speak your own language, so let's sell something to my own country. So my first sales job was back in 2014, before the whole situation happened, to promote British products into Russian market.
All right.
So the first market I was looking after internationally was Russia. After that, Eastern Europe, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, so basically all the areas where Russian is a spoken language.
Okay, because you're originally from Russia. We didn't mention that.
Oh my God, that time I just had such a horrible Russian accent. And I guess that not many companies in England would hire me, to promote their product with this super Russian accent. Yes, so.
Stereotype, yeah.
Exactly, like buy something from me, otherwise I'll send the head of the host to you, right? Yeah. So that's.
Now you sound a bit British, a bit more than maybe a hybrid.
Definitely. I lived in 9 countries, so I would say I inherited a dash of the local pronunciation from every single place I'm staying for longer than 3 months.
Okay.
So,
I see. So you started your career trying to make sales into the local market, into Russian, using as a lever your Russian background. And that was your first experience bringing business to a different country.
So basically, it's still, I guess, the company in a lovely place in England, in Bradford. Wow. So to get to that office, this is a story, like all Russians, they coming abroad being packed with money. I wish. So my parents were strictly against me moving abroad, and my dad made it so clear right away that the only thing I'm going to help you with is your return ticket.
All right.
The rest, make it work for your girl. You're an adult now, right? So you decided to grow up at 15. At 15, you're an adult. Go and make your life. The only call, return ticket, okay, I'll help you. The rest, not my concern anymore. Yeah, go and win the world. Okay. Yeah. So the first job I got, I asked all people around, and they told me, it's okay. It's okay, take it. It's your first ever job. And this is where I learned my first lesson in life. Never listen to other people. Never.
Okay.
I ended up, I was living in Sheffield at the time. It's north of England. If we can put a map here, yeah, we will show. I had to travel to Bradford every single day. It was an office job, Monday to Friday. To get to that office on time by 9, I had to wake up at 4:20 in the morning.
Wow.
To take a bus to go to the train station, to take one train to go to Leeds, then from Leeds another train to go to Bradford, and from Bradford station to walk for 20 minutes to get to the office.
Okay, that's a lot.
I was waking up at 4:20 in every single morning, and I was coming back home at about 8-9 p.m.
Yeah, the hustle was real. I see.
And the salary was 15k per year.
Struggle to make a living with that. But before we go into that, let's try to understand a bit more how you establish your career in sales. How can someone get into sales? What are the main areas inside sales?
Main areas inside sales. So, first of all, I would say that anyone who wants to move abroad, sales is the best go-to job.
All right. Why?
If you know how to sell, you will never stay hungry no matter where you go. You can, because by selling, I'm not just talking about selling somebody's product to another country. When you sell your opinion to other people. You sell something you want inside your family, right? So sales, this is something when you can prove that your idea is valuable.
It's for everything, yeah.
You are literally influencing people. I don't want to say manipulating, right? You're influencing people to do something you want them to do. It can be buying your products. It can be going to the restaurant you choose. It can be, I don't know.
Everything. Applying for a mortgage, applying for a job. It's everything.
In my eyes, you start selling from the moment you wake up and start communicating with someone, right?
Yeah.
You're selling the idea to go for coffee. You're selling the idea to go for lunch. You're selling the idea to do the same project together. You're selling literally everything. Every time somebody is saying yes to you, to what you're proposing, you're closing the sale.
So how can someone get into the sales world?
Everything starts with your self-esteem. I'm telling you.
If we talk about specific education or specific certification, specific background?
These days, I would not waste my time to go to the universities to study sales, It's a waste of time. Sales, it's something it's easier to learn on the field. You joining the company, joining the project, and it's a number games. You making 10 cold calls, right? So your 11th one will go easier. You're getting 10 rejections and your 11th one feels like, okay, that's another one, right? So you're learning in the field. How to start though? You can do it like right now after watching this podcast. Go on YouTube, type Brian Tracy.
Brian Tracy.
Yes. This is the Bible, I would say, of today's sales. Okay, he's pushing door-to-door sales, but I would say it's still applicable in this world. We still have, phone calls, we still have emails, we still have everything. But the idea of how to develop your sales skills coming from Brian Tracy.
All right.
So literally, you're watching his videos for a couple of hours every day during the weekend. And you already have this idea, right? How to organize your sales process, how to list your potential customers, how to approach them, how to react on rejections. It gives you not just the best basic sales tools, but also massive inspiration, how much money you can make if you can sell.
All right. And what would you say is the main skill or... what would you say is the main skill in sales?
You act fast, you think after, right? Because when you overthink in sales, most probably you will never take that call, right? So sometimes in the morning, you know that you need to contact 5 people you never met, right? So they're your cold calls. If you start overthinking, if you start pushing those calls for like the second time of the day, most probably it will never happen. You just pick up the phone, you do the thing, and then you feel happy for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Going into action by default, right?
Absolutely.
Instead of letting things go by and then I'll do it
When
later.
you become a sales director in the company, you think fast, okay? But if you're a junior salesperson, please act.
All right.
I made my career from the position of super junior salesperson all the way to VP of business development and sales, right? I can fix any mistake of a junior salesperson, but no action.
Yeah, you cannot fix the attitude.
Exactly.
How a person approaches.
Exactly.
And for cold calling, for example, for me, this is an art. How can someone sell into a cold call where that person doesn't know you, doesn't know your business? You need to pitch. Is there any tip for this cold calling?
With your first call, right?
Yeah.
First, you get as much information as possible about the person you are going to call to, right? Second, do not, these days, okay, you better make 5 quality calls than, 100 random ones, okay? Before every call.
What is a quality call?
Quality call when you know who you're calling. At least one of you, so not the person on that side, yeah? You need to be a detective here. Mm-hmm. You need to know all this information, not just about their company, about their business, but about this person. You need to check their LinkedIn. You need to check their, Facebook, Instagram. You need to understand these common grounds.
All right.
And if most probably you will hear the answer, I'm so busy now, can you send an email? You better try and reschedule that call. Like, if I call you such and such time, will this be okay?
Uh-huh. Okay.
If they keep insisting that, okay, send me an email. For you need to see it as your opening door to follow up that email with a call.
And something, for example, that I realized lately, and you tell me if this is a good tip for sales or not, it's talking in the benefit of the other person. This is something that I see people, when trying to sell something, they only say about how good is this product, blah, 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 but they only talk about the features instead of the benefit for that person. And it's something that it's also applicable for an application process, right?
Juan, man, go listen to Brent Tracy, okay? Even like 40 years ago, he said it's me world, okay? What's in it for me? For me. People don't care how good this car is, okay?
Talking about the benefit for the other person.
Absolutely. And the best way to do this is by asking open-ended questions, right? Okay. You need to understand what sort of customer you're dealing with. Are they after prestige, status? Mm-hmm. Are they after comfort? Are they after budget? So you need to understand what you are selling. You're selling price or you're selling experience.
Okay. And then based on that, talk in terms of their benefit.
Absolutely.
All right. Good one. So you started this career in sales and it started in the UK, as you were mentioning. I'm interested about the UK application process, the visas, the work permit, because you were coming from Russia, right?
Yeah.
Which type of visa did you get and which type of work permit did you get?
Well, I got my student visa first.
Student visa.
Yes, because I came to England to study. So I was underground student first. Then I had my master's there. After I finished my master's, I got my first job, right? But I still had that student visa active because back in 2012, 2013, if you have your student visa and if your education also has this amazing thing, it's called placement.
What's that?
Placement, it's your opportunity to work after your studies, which means you're applying for your visa, stating that I'm willing to stay in the UK after my studies for a year to work for the company. Well, you're going to be a bitch there, but sorry for that, but yes. Because they will use and abuse you during this placement.
Okay.
Because they understand that,
as an immigrant, you need it to stay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So your salary most probably will be much lower than having work permit or anything. But I keep saying, guys, if you can apply for student visa first, you go to any country, do it. Even if it's a short-term student visa, like, for example, I'm going to England to study English. I want to bring my level from, let's say, B2 to C1, blah, blah, blah. And I'm taking my general language course somewhere in Brighton for 3-4 months, right? You come there for 3-4 months. You will dramatically improve your English, because lots of people, they struggle with the point of studying English.
And you need to practice.
For 20 years, they're coming to the UK, they're going to the north, and they don't understand a thing. When I came to Sheffield, again, it's up north, yeah? I was like, oh my God, I don't understand a thing they're saying. What are they saying? They're saying booze, for example.
The accent is heavy. I can imagine.
But after you live in such places in the UK, in the north, or in like deep areas of Australia, you're not scared of any accent. I can understand anyone speaking English now. Anyone, which is really good if you're in sales, if you're in international sales, if you work with markets like China, right? They have their specifics in the accent. You can understand anyone.
Okay. So student visa as a bridge to then find something better and apply for this visa.
After my student visa, I had 1 year of this placement situation, so I did not need to jump on like any other visas or something. So I started the job, which was, told you, 4:30, 4:20 in the morning, every single day. I lasted for 1 year and a half. And then during one of sales exhibition, I met a guy who proposed me to start business together.
All right.
So I started my company. I wasn't even 20, so my business in the UK. I started a company. That time it was so easy. It's still so easy to start business in England. And the trick is, if you want to move to London or to the UK, right, when you reach certain point in your salary, let's say 100K, you better talk to your employer if they're happy to have you as a consultant, because in this case, you will be paying much less tax, right? So you're becoming a company, you're paying 20% tax. It starts with 20% and after that, but it's never 45% of tax on your business.
So it's beneficial for you and for your employer.
Absolutely.
To have this framework instead of being a playing employee.
Well, if you really want to play this super safe game, it's really safer to stay employed, yeah? But it's always less money, especially in a country like the UK. I don't know about Switzerland, you will tell me during your podcast, but in the UK, we're getting to the point of, especially in London, as living in New York, your official salary is not enough.
All right.
So it's better to be employed as a consultant with your own company when you have this flexibility to have several clients, plus run your own business. You will have in your contract exactly as what I have now with my clients. There is no conflict of interest.
Okay.
Specific hours per month, right? So, and this way I can play. Also, when you have deep sales skills, right? You don't care which industry you're working. You're literally applying your own methodology. You developed 3-5 years, no matter how long for you are in sales, at the end of 3 years of being there, you will develop your own sales techniques.
Okay.
You will find out what's so special about you to be that salesperson the companies want to have.
I see it. I see it in your profile, and I see the way you talk that you developed yours. And talking about money, you were just mentioning the salary range. I mean, not salary range, this 100K. If we talk about employees moving to the UK, and specifically for London, what is a salary range that someone in sales can expect when moving to London?
Well, I'm a Russian woman. It's better to talk about money than about my age, Okay. I would never ask that question, but this
Please
one,
do.
I'm happy to answer. So, sales job in London, guys, that's why I mentioned self-esteem, right? You will get your salary proposed based on your self-esteem and self-confidence.
So if I'm going from any European country to the UK for the first time, what is an average that I can expect? Let's say with 5 years experience in sales.
Depending where you're coming from, which country. You're coming from Spain, let's say, right?
Okay,
you have your sales experience in sales in Spain. If you worked for international company, if your level of English is, high enough and everything. However, right, so 35, 40K, this is still, I would say minimum you still can,
That's a very low salary. I was expecting more in London.
Absolutely not. So now, because I'm checking LinkedIn all the time just to understand where the market is going, and I admire self-esteem of those people offering me something for 45k. But those descriptions, they exist. If you want, I can even check my LinkedIn and I can take some, like screens of those proposals. 45k, 55k, right? So, which means you'll get the job. Most probably they will hire you like right away because it's not really competitive in the market. Downside is you will most probably have to share your apartment with other people. In London, it's a typical thing to do because rent in London is insane.
It's super high, right? Like 55k, I think it's not a high salary in London.
Absolutely not.
Taking into account the cost of life.
Absolutely not.
So what is a salary, of course, depending on your lifestyle, but what is a salary that you would say covers comfortable average life in London?
I don't think there is a salary in London which will provide you a comfortable life. Okay, I'm living in a very interesting area of London, which is SW, right? I don't know anyone who would live there with only one source of income.
Okay, so let's say overall amount.
I personally feel comfortable in London when my income does not drop below £10,000 per month.
Okay, which that is net. You're talking
After
about
tax, yes.
After tax, yeah. I see. And how much that is gross per year? Because taxes are a thing, right?
My tax is 20%. And I'm comfortable with 10, but I'm becoming happier with 15. So you understand, yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like super relaxed without any anxiety these days in London, living in the place I want, traveling the world the way I want, combining my sources of income to bring them to the point of 15k per month. This is what you would call comfortable these days in central London.
For you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to go to my favorite supermarket. I don't want to, check my bank account before I book any travels. It takes time. It takes sacrifice, I would say, to bring yourself to this point. That's why I'm not expecting anyone who are moving to London, from the day one, they're making 10 grand per month. No, it does not work like this. When you're staying in London for 1 year, you have an estimation, okay, I want to have that apartment, I need to check how much it costs. You're writing it down, right? For that apartment, I will pay this type of council tax, which is essential in London, right? Mm-hmm. People are Robin Hoods. As more you pay for your apartment, as more you pay for this council tax, which goes to protect people on benefits.
All right.
Usually the locals, paid by immigrants.
I can imagine,
yeah. So, you need to be prepared for this. Rent, council tax. After that, you monitoring how much you currently spending on your grocery shopping. I would advise to double it to have this estimation, right? Because in London, I noticed when you move up in your career, when you start making more, you want to live in a better place. You want to move to a better, safer area. Yeah. To the point that I changed the supermarket. If at the beginning I was happy with Tesco, now I'm sorry, but I cannot go anywhere but Waitrose.
I don't know the supermarket.
Yeah, so
I can imagine. Yeah, you go higher when you also have more money. And getting practical on the advice that we would give someone who wants to move to London in sales, what would be your advice?
In sales, first of all, before you move to any country, any job, start your side hustle. Think what are your key qualities. If you love photography, if you love cooking, if you love anything doing with your hands, right, you can use it as your side hustle to the point if you're good with fixing things, building things. Yeah, this is something to have. Even plumbers in London, they're becoming so expensive. And if you know how to do these things, oh my God, you can just advertise your services around your neighborhood and you will have your weekend side hustle, right? Also, no matter which job you're getting in a new country, be ready to sacrifice your first couple of years.
Yeah, as an immigrant, you need to be prepared for that. Absolutely. As an immigrant, you need to understand that you are an immigrant, you're in a new country, and you need to develop your life from scratch. So the first years will be tough, as you said. And so coming back to the question, a part of the side hustle, which we understand is important for sales, if I'm a person who wants to move to who wants to find a job in sales in London, what would be your advice to me?
My advice to you, first of all, your resume, right? So it should be certain type of resume. Specifically for London, go for American style of resume.
What's the style?
I can share with you the details of my career coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because after he prepared my resume, I jumped double in my salary with my yes. It was US style of resume, 2 pages. Break down your name, last name, address. Address must be already in London or the location you want to move.
Okay.
Because if your employer sees that it's oh my God, it's visa, it's relocation, blah, 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 they will not contact you.
Yeah, that's a tricky part.
I know.
A tricky part. A lot of people do that in Switzerland, but I also have a point about that, which is if you, in the end, you need visa sponsorship and you need work permit, and you put that you're already living there, I mean, it will reach a point that they need to cover for it and say, I thought you were here and we're not doing any visa sponsorship, so you're out.
Your resume is not to get a job. Your resume is your marketing document. And the only purpose of your resume to put them on the call, right?
Yeah, but in the end, if they're not doing any visa sponsorship,
and this is critical thing about being in sales, right? You must be able to sell yourself from the first call. And believe me, if you have this ability as a salesperson to make them want you by the end of those 30 minutes of your initial interview, they will find the way to open your visa, believe me.
We live it like that. I mean, in my experience, this didn't happen for people. They faked their address here, and in the end they said, okay, actually, because also countries have quotas. Here in Switzerland, for example, it's not that the company want to pay or doesn't want to pay. It's that they actually cannot. So in the end, I can understand it can help sometimes. So they say, okay, this is my way to open the door, and then they will make the extra effort because they really like my profile, which is what you're saying. And on the other side, you can also find some cases that actually we cannot hire internationals. We need to be only hire Europeans.
We're talking about sales, right? Your next question, when you get the rejection, okay, you cannot. Do you know anyone in your country, in your industry, who is hiring, who's got... Always look for referrals in sales, You will decrease the number of your cold calling, which usually salespeople hate, when you start working on referrals. Basically, you talk to one client, potential client, and if they don't need those services that time, right? Like your employment, you always ask, do you know anyone in your industry, in your city, who my services can be beneficial for?
That's a good one. And then you can contact that person and say, hey, this person referred me to you.
Even worse, sometimes what I was doing in Norway, right? Can you introduce me to your friend, please? Just one short email with me in the copy. It's another level right away. Not just you're coming, somebody coming. No, their friend just sent an email with you in copy. Okay, that's a different story.
Yeah. You get the door open in a different way.
Another advice, again, so just to let our guys know that I never applied for jobs in Switzerland. Honestly, I'll find it in 2 days, believe me, honestly. I can, if you want next time, I can show, how I would cold call or approach, getting a job here in Switzerland, right? But
I like the confidence.
Yes, years of tears, therapy.
I can imagine.
Crying. Yeah, it was a painful way of... Anyway, so talking about jobs in the UK, talking about jobs in Norway, right? So Norway
Let's talk about that, about your experience in Norway. How did you get into Norway?
Oh, well, so I moved to Norway just for a couple of months with Airbnb because it was pandemic. Yeah, so, and the thing is, I was working for a British company. And as a salesperson, we need to be strategical, okay? So before I announce to my company that, guys, you know what? I feel like moving to Norway for some time because I love the landscape. It's so quiet here. It's nice and cool. I found a backup plan in Norway. So I applied through LinkedIn. I got them on the call saying, look, guys, I'm already here.
So you were sent to Norway by your company to do business
I just
there?
decided during pandemic to move to Norway because I didn't want to pay rent of my apartment in London.
Okay.
Because...
Did you know anyone in Norway or just like that?
You see how easy I make friends in the country, right? So I knew somebody in Norway because it was my market. For my second employment back in 2018, I was working with Norwegian company.
All right.
They were buying our products to distribute in the supermarkets in Norway. So it was like tableware, something to go on the counter, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
When you make connections in Norway, it's really difficult to break the ice, but when you break the ice, you're friends for life, okay? So basically our distributors in Norway for the second employment I had in the UK, it's my best friend in Norway now.
Okay.
They're a gay couple. He's much older than me. Every time I go to Oslo, I'm staying in his house. We worked together.
Good friend.
He does not host every single, supplier he has for his job, believe me, yeah? We just became friends.
All right. Then you move to Norway and you say, actually, I like the place. I would like to develop a life here.
Yeah.
So what was your approach to get a job or establish a business?
What I did, I knew that for my employer in the UK, he's very possessive guy, like he wants me to be next to him all the time. I knew that when I drop a bomb, right, so like I made my choice, I moved to Norway, I like the country, I want to run something for a long time. Professionally wise, it's like with relationship. When you corner someone with your final decision, you should be ready for the person to say, okay, this is the door, go away. We don't need your services anymore, right? So I played it smart, I had already 3 backup plans in Norway. Literally, if my current boss from the US saying no to me, well, I'm not happy with you moving to Norway, you must stay in the UK, I would say, bye-bye, I'm gone. So, and I would proceed my career in Norway. However, I put it the way, not that I love Norway and I love the landscape. No, I told him, look, this is the list of the companies I'm willing to develop for our business by the end of next year. And in order for this to happen, I must stay in Norway. What do you think about it?
And then he bought it?
Yes. He really wanted Scandinavian market.
Okay, so it was for his benefit. You were talking in terms of his benefit.
I twisted it like, you need this. You need this, not me. I'm okay.
It's what we just talked, no? And it's real, because when you say you twisted it, it sounds like you were cheating, but it's not like that. It was a win-win, right? You were winning because you were staying, and he was winning because you were developing market for him. I like the approach. Thinking win-win, I think it's one of the best qualities that someone can have, because in life you cannot progress very far if you only look the benefit for you. You need to make other people win with you. If you're the only one winning and other people are losing, you won't get very far. I
agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Always put yourself first. Always.
Yeah, but don't make other people lose. I mean, put yourself first, but don't let other people down if you win.
After you put yourself first, right? So just think, what about this decision you just made? How to make other people happy?
Exactly. Make other people win with you.
But still always keep this in mind that your life is first, especially when it comes to your employment. Like companies, they're coming and going, in and out of your life, right? You will stay with yourself forever. If you don't feel comfortable with something about your current employment, first, you talk about it openly, saying that, okay, look, it does not make me really happy, how we can change that. But still, yes, it's important to speak with people, about their benefits, but you should always remember that this is your life.
Absolutely. You need to put yourself first, because it's also when you're able to do a good job, right? if we talk about relationships, only when you love yourself, you're able to love others. And the same with a job. Only when you can do a good job and you're motivated about what you're doing and you like it, you can benefit others.
And especially in sales, never be a yes man. Never. If some time doesn't work for you, if some flights don't work for you, because I made this mistake myself. When I just got my first employment in London, I was like, oh my God, I'm moving from the north all the way to London. That's the dream of my life. And I became that yes person, yes type of salesperson, yes man, right? I was traveling with EasyJet, right? I was traveling ridiculous time of the days and everything. I was staying in single room hotels, and just to let you know, single room exists in Scandinavia. You literally have this child bed, single bed. And when you travel for business, it's not the best sleep. Yeah. So, but I ended up waking up in 12 different countries in the course of 1 month. I was literally losing myself because I was saying yes to my boss. I was saying yes to all potential customers, blah, blah, blah.
Not putting any limits.
But when I started putting myself first and saying, okay, look, yeah, I can do this, but it will come with a cost of a better flight, of first class, of better accommodation. Yes, I will close this deal. That's not a problem. But only on my terms. Fast people started respecting me.
Yeah.
And if something does not work for me, I'll openly say it. No matter if it's the meeting with a client. In Scandinavia, they love getting you in the office at 8 in the morning.
This is an interesting topic for me. You having worked in the UK and in Norway, which was the main difference when working?
I would compare Norway with Switzerland.
All right.
People more relaxed there. They're so chill. They will always put your well-being first. And it's a massive mentality clash. Because Brits, they also see that you are a better worker. If you stay in the office ridiculous hours, you cannot leave the office before your boss.
Yeah, this is the same in Spain.
Yeah. I would call Norway underestimated location in Europe because the salaries are closer to Switzerland. They don't have any quota. You don't need to study any additional language but English to get a job there.
Yeah, Norwegian is not mandatory.
Yeah, absolutely not. No. Well, if you're dentist, if you're a doctor, if you work you work with the kids. You need to speak with
locals.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. But
so if bus driver or these kind of things.
No, first of all, in Norway, you will lose the job of bus driver super soon because they're going full electric now. Norway will be the first country to adapt no driver cars. Believe me.
Autonomous
Absolutely, driving. They will be the first.
Okay.
So all this money, but in Norway, if you're a gardener, if you manicure, if you're doing manicure, if you're a hairdresser, if you're plumber, if you're electrician, if you have local certificate, oh my God, you can make so much money.
How much money we're talking about?
Right, so I had a cleaner, the lady coming to clean the house when I was living in Norway. I'm so useless when it comes to cooking and cleaning, so that's why I'm outsourcing the services. For example, so the price of my cleaner in London, £10 per hour, right? And the lady in Norway, she was charging 77 euros per hour.
And 77 euros
per hour
for cleaning.
Yes, and her minimum rate was 2 times a week.
Wow.
At least 4 hours each time.
That's a lot.
Do your math.
That's a lot.
So all guys from Spain move to Norway now. Like, honestly, you better clean the house there.
It sounds impressive.
Yeah.
And for a sales role, for a 5-year experience sales role in Norway, what is the salary range we can expect?
Starting from, I would say, 70 and 80K. I'm talking pounds. Please, can you do transition on the screen or something? So from 70, 80,000 pounds coming to Oslo, yeah, you can easily double it. After 5 years in sales. First of all, 1 year in sales counts as 10 years in like any normal job. So, okay, I broke the light. Can we charge the light somehow? Can we stop and charge the light?
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. We're there?
So we were talking salaries in Norway.
I was saying that in sales, 1 year, it's like 10 years in any other profession. You don't so much. So after 5 years of sales, based on your self-esteem, you can already sell yourself as the, I would say, higher level than just junior sales, right? In sales, when you can provide not just sales services, you can also do some marketing. You can also build a team, right? So you can supervise customer service department, right? So you're growing and growing and growing. Also in Norway, your salary will be different if you're a single person applying, if you're applying with your wife or with your partner, if you have kids, it will be growing. So the ideal case in Norway, you can always come to the, I don't know, minimum of 80, 90K per year, pounds, right? You can always say, okay, I'm ready to join you, having this pay, but put it in your calendar. It's 6 months, right? We will sit again and we will discuss the progress. Because, I'm targeting to get such and such salary. So this is absolutely workable. I was not applying for job since 2020 to 21, something like that. So just, you can always Google, you can also ask ChatGPT what's the average salary of sales in Norway. It will definitely depend if it's Oslo, the capital, if it's remote area. However, the salary might look lower in remote area. The competition will be also lower.
Yeah.
In Oslo, same as in Switzerland, too many applicants from different countries, But still, I guess it's quite similar to Switzerland. For everyone in this world who doesn't want to develop any business, get any side hustle, do any investment, they just like, I want my job, I want to work from 8 in the morning to 3 p.m. I want to leave my office. I don't want to work Fridays, and I want all my healthcare, education for my kids, kindergarten, maternity leave, everything being covered with the government. Go to Norway. Like, go to the country like Norway, and you don't need to create 1 million side hustles. But in Norway, you cannot be a business person. Just forget about it.
Why not?
They will eat you with the tax.
Ah, I see. Okay.
To open a business in Norway, being not Norwegian, right? You need to prove to the government and municipality that your business is actually valuable. After that, they will eat you with a tax. And now they introduced a crazy thing that you exit tax when you want to exit business, 40%.
40%?
Yes.
For selling your company?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Business, if you business-minded, if you consider yourself as thinking outside the box. But if you want to be fully covered with the government, having a pension, having education, healthcare for your kids, Norway.
Good option as an employee, not as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what advice would you have for people looking for a job in Norway, specifically in Oslo?
Start always with listing all the companies you want to work for. I would create Excel file. I would spend 2-3 days researching the market of Norway, the companies, predominantly the companies, and I would have one file for Oslo, the capital. All companies I see myself working for in one file, and the second page, the rest of the companies in Norway. Same principle in Switzerland, always work from the list. List the exact companies you want to work for, right? And after that, you do your research. You collect all the data. You need to have their email address. You need to check their LinkedIn profile. You need to befriend everyone on LinkedIn from that company. That's vital, okay? After that, your resume is a killer. Your resume is a must thing to have. Second must thing to have is your LinkedIn profile. Because these days, I was hiring for my sales team in London for my latest employment. When I hire for my sales team, I'll spend 6-7 seconds glancing your resume. After that, I will put your name in a Google search. If your LinkedIn profile does not appear, I'm not interested in you. For me, it means that you cannot network. And if you cannot network in sales, what I'm going to do to you.
Yeah, in sales is very specific indeed.
Absolutely. LinkedIn is the key platform.
Yeah.
I will pay your this premium LinkedIn Navigator blah 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 thing. It's like $40 per month or something. But if you don't have those networking thing, I'm paying for your subscription, you're doing what?
I see your point. It's a good one, specifically in sales.
The best way to train your sales skills is to apply for a job in another country.
Because you really need to sell yourself as the expert.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Good
if you can sell yourself, if you can overcome all those rejections, because usually my first question to every single salesperson during the interview, how did you get job? How did you get to this room, right? And the thing is, I never ever, I'm sorry, British people, I never employ British people. They're so lazy.
Lazy?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good headliner.
Now in my company,
controversial opinion.
Before in my sales team, in my previous employment, I was running a team of 12. So they were 12 sales representatives looking after different markets, right? No one was British. All right, so even to look after the UK market, we had a person from Ireland because they're too lazy.
Maybe UK people will kill you for this.
I know. but yeah.
It is what it is. It's your opinion. Yeah.
So for anyone who is like, oh my God, I don't have this competitive advantage as the locals, believe me, there are some senior hiring officials who's got this little thing that you better be from anywhere else, right? Because when I'm hiring for my team, right, salesperson, they need to be adjustable. And to be adjustable, the best way is to speak at least 2 languages.
No, and it's so important. I see that immigrants are normally more resourceful. People who have lived in different countries rather than always staying in their city normally will find a way to make things work.
Absolutely.
Always, because they needed to start from scratch. And it's something that people who never lived abroad don't have. And that, I agree. I fully agree. And talking about that mindset of living abroad, how has living abroad changed the person you are?
I would say, years changing people. No matter where you live, you're getting older, you're getting wiser. Living abroad, this is something you have to adjust and very fast. You're coming to a new place and you have to adjust super fast. Also, time management. I'm still horrible at it, but still, when you live abroad, you need to know, okay, so this is my job. I also need to allocate my time to study the language. I also need to spend my time developing side hustle. I also need to allocate some time to go on social events. Otherwise, I will go crazy if I stay alone here.
Yeah.
So, and you are becoming literally a personal assistant to yourself when you finally start managing that time. Because guys, if you hope to keep your friendships from your own country when you move abroad, in 90% of the cases, forget about it.
It's difficult, indeed. And also you develop in a different way than them. So after some time, it can happen that you come back and you don't click the same. You don't connect in the same way. It can happen.
You're literally losing the subjects to talk about. And also, we're talking European, right? So when you're moving from Europe, like from Spain to Switzerland, at least you have the same time zone. But what about people moving from Canada, from the US to Europe, right? So they're already having a drink in Europe and their friends just woke up.
And in social life, what is your trick to rebuild social life and make new friendships when you move abroad?
Actually, I had stages, right? So when I moved to London from the north of England, I was so interested in making those friendships on my social life. Now I got to the point when I developed too much social life, I'm leaving the country because it's too much. So, it depends on your personal preferences, I would say. So if it's your first ever relocation, first ever, make sure that you have that social circle. Also, vital advice, never ever communicate only with your own nation. You're risking, first of all, not to master the language, right? So I guess you will keep speaking the language of the country you're coming from. And second, for some reason, I don't know why, but from your own nation, people complaining the most.
I agree. Yeah. I somehow agree, yeah, indeed. And I think also the beauty about living abroad is also meeting internationals, meeting other cultures,
Absolutely.
other mindsets. If you live abroad but you only meet people from your nationality, you're halfway living abroad in a different country, but with your same.
Oh, goodness me, this is why when you come to countries like Switzerland also, right? Consider having your sides hustle as podcast, YouTube. When you go to any place with a camera, I give you 99.9% of the chances that people will come to you and they will ask what you're filming for.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about this one actually, about the content creation, because you're big on YouTube, as we said, 100K subscribers. What is your focus? What do you film and what is the value for the audience?
Right, so again, sales. If you want to make money from like anything you do in your life, YouTube, I don't know, fishing, making cakes, you need to be good at sales first of all. With your social media, you need to understand right away, are you doing it just for your friends and for your family, or you want to monetize it eventually? If you see it as your source of money, you need to be very strategical about it. And honestly, without having my previous sales job, my sales skills, I would never monetize my YouTube channel to the point, it's bringing me money today. Because eventually you come to the point discussing partnerships for your channel, sponsorships, collaborations with brands, with other companies, with the hotels. And if you don't have the right sales skills, they will never happen.
I see where you're coming from. And a step before that, before the collaborations and before monetizing, I guess is offering something valuable for people, right? Because you cannot just
Absolutely.
make it without helping others. So what is your unique value in your YouTube channel?
YouTube channel. So if you want to talk about collaborations, right? So my values, as we discussed, geographical independence and financial independence, which I really think that vital in our life. For the girls, listening to us now, no matter how wealthy your husband is, girl, you must make your own money. The world is so changeable. You can never rely on the random guy you just met, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Doesn't matter, right? Things can change the next day. The person can leave, the person can die. Anything can happen, right? So my advice to especially female immigrants, make sure that you have your own cash always. And what is my value? So my channel is about that no matter which country you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what's your gender, what your background, you're Jewish, you're, Arab, no matter. You can always be independent, geographically independent, financially independent, right? So, and this is the values I'm actually showing, outcasting on my channel. And my latest collaborations, for example, I'm going to London the 13th of November and I'm staying there in my most wanted apartment and everything. So I'm staying free of charge because it's collaboration. How it happened, so the company, they have a set of apartments all across London, and I have my favorite one in specific building in specific area. So, to the point that I did not ask my personal assistant to approach them this time, I did it myself. So I drafted my cold email, right? Cold email, approaching email. So, Hello, how are you doing? I'm Anna Goldman. And I'm planning my stay in London. And I like this place. I stayed there before at my own cost, which was, don't ask me how much it was.
Too much.
It was painful, yes. So, and I offered them, so I'm going to be in London for these 2 weeks. This is my YouTube channel. This is my LinkedIn profile. This is my Instagram profile. I can propose you a bundle. I'm planning to film these specific videos, the names of the long YouTube videos. I'm planning to film certain amount of short videos, and I will offer you 5-6 LinkedIn posts with the main message that instead of staying in the hotel as a business owner, you better stay in the apartment because you have faster internet, you have your private space, you have supermarket like next door, right? And it will all, integrated in my video in a very native way, right?
Yeah.
They got back to me. We signed a contract.
Okay.
So for me, usually I'm charging for my collaborations on LinkedIn. But if you check how much the bloody rent in that place for 2 weeks, I was like, okay, I'm filming my content anyway there, fine, right? So
yeah, I can imagine. So you've built your career in sales and now you're also doing this on the side, but I guess it's becoming more and more time consuming for you. And I think also from your speech that you're enjoying more and more this part of content creation. So are you planning to fully transition and become a full content creator and abandon the sales part?
No, I don't think it will ever happen. But as I told you before, I'm an introvert. No matter how extroverted I look like, but I really want to minimize human interactions to the chosen ones. For example, I don't want to be told where I should go and who I should meet, right? I want to choose myself where I'm going and who I'm talking to, right? So that's a vital part. However, I try to go just on social media, on content creation for a year, and I realized how lonely this path is. That, okay, you have your team, you have your content, but the only person you're like constantly talking to is the bloody camera.
Yeah.
It hasn't talk to you
You're missing
back.
the human touch.
Yes, and also, again, I'm coming from a very traditional Russian family where women not supposed to work and not supposed to do, much in their lives, like your place in the kitchen and be happy with that. Yeah. I'm strictly against this. I'm not a feminist. Yeah, I'm not a feminist. I respect the role of a man in my life, and my man is always stronger and, more developed than me and everything. But still, I cannot stay without, doing my activities. When I'm in business, when I'm in sales, I feel like my brain is working. Because, again, no matter that you decide when to meet people, but you're meeting people, you talk business, you are in the world, you're present, right? And you use your brain at the full capacity. Because these days, to attract new clients, to sign deals, you really need to be creative.
Yeah. And I think it's also important for your brain, as you said, to be motivated about what you're doing and to do stuff that you like. Is when you're truly alive, right?
Absolutely.
If you're always in the kitchen, I fully agree with your approach. Anna, it's super interesting talking to you. I think you have a lot of experience in different countries, different jobs, side hustles. We're reaching now towards the end of the podcast, and I always ask 3 quick final questions that also need 3 short answers. The first one is your favorite local food, in your case, from the UK and from Norway.
Favorite local food from the UK? Ooh. Honestly, I don't know. In the UK, I usually go to French or Italian restaurants or to my favorite Russian restaurant, in fact, in London.
Okay, so no local food from
Honestly,
UK.
No.
And Norway?
Norway, I super love salmon there, and I have crazy amount of my favorite local food. I'm coming there and I'm taking either from the restaurant or from the supermarket. They have so many twisted only Norwegian things. I will definitely go for Norwegian chocolate, which is absolutely bizarre, especially, talking about in Switzerland. Norwegian chocolate, the factory is called Freya, and they produce their local Norwegian chocolate, so that's the best present and the best treat when I go there. I think I get that one.
All right.
Also, pinnekjøtt. So it's like literally Christmas dish from Norway. 99% of people absolutely hate. So those are like sheep, like ribs or something, and they dried and then they boiled. I have no idea how they made, but it's just so, how it's called, peculiar about the place. For Italian, for Spanish people, they stink like hell.
I can imagine.
But yeah,
but I'll give it a try. I like trying different food. All right. The second one is one book that you recommend.
Start with the Bible.
Brian Tracy.
and Brian Tracy. No, not real Bible. I'm telling
okay.
you. You will find so many answers in the Bible. Like every single successful person, every single person who made millions/billions in business, it's funny enough, but you can ask one single question, all of them. When was the moment of your life when you started believing in God? You will be shocked.
What is the answer?
Yes, because in every single business, and especially successful business, and even more for billionaires, funny enough, right? It was that pivotal moment, I believe in God, because nothing else can help.
Well, interesting point of view. All right, Bible. You're the first person that recommends the Bible. And the last is the best advice that you ever received.
Just do it. People asking me, I want to move to another country. Like, I want to move to another country, but I'm old enough, I'm young enough, I'm not making enough money, I don't speak the language, blah, blah, blah. Just move there for 2 months. That's enough. Because if you repress this idea, like, you know, if you have this thought in your head, like, oh my God, I look at Switzerland and I really want to try my life there. If you don't try it, at least for a couple of weeks, when you turn 80, 90, blah, 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 it will destroy your brain, you know, that regret that I had that idea, but I never put it in action. So my advice to everyone who is doubting, shall I move to that country if it's expensive enough, blah, blah, blah. These days, Airbnb, 2 weeks, you come here, you're staying in the apartment, you check local supermarket prices, you get inspiration about getting a job locally, you go back to your country after 2-3 weeks, no matter how, and I guarantee you will get a job much faster than without seeing the country itself. So just go, just do it.
Have a bias for action. When in doubt, do it. And then you adjust later. You
can always go back to your country. Well, if you're not from Ukraine or Russia these days, you know, the rest, usually the rest of the world, if you don't like it in 12 months, in 2 years, you can always pack your stuff, move back to your country. But the lessons you learn, the person you will become in a course of just 12 months living on your own in another country, it's priceless.
Yeah, and it was never easier to move countries than it is today. I agree. Anna, it was a great episode. Thank you very much for sharing all your tips and your experience.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and all the best, guys, with your future success in any country you choose. You are future millionaires, all of you, I hope, yes. So this is what I wish you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this conversation, follow me and share it with that friend who wants to move abroad. And if you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts, please like and rate the show with 5 stars. It helps me a lot more than you think. Thank you very much, and see you on the next one.